Hi there. I'm Neat.
I'm Rox.
I had to remember who I was for a second.
Yeah, we haven't even had a drink yet.
Waking up way late because of the holidays.
Yeah.
We're recording this New Year's Day, so Happy New Year's.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Um,
Happy 2022.
and yeah, we're actually going to be doing a episode for in my honor because we're doing it for my birthday.
Yeah, his birthday's in the month of January.
Yeah, yeah. So
So,
he was nice enough to grab me something, something.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
an exciting
Yeah.
time, so I'm supposed to open this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that.
do it now, do it. Then we
Second.
don't have anything to worry about anymore as far as any of
Okay.
this hoo-ha.
Step
Plus,
first.
there's a bit of a joke to this, guys, so
I got a hole in the box.
you'll notice immediately.
Jesus.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Look how happy he looks.
Always wanted.
Everybody, look how happy he looks. It's Glenmorangie
That's clearly
Scotch.
not even bourbon.
Now you might want to open the box.
Okay.
There you
Okay.
go.
That's
That's the reaction I was trying to get by
sneaky.
doing this. Okay. And I had to literally find one and make sure that it went into a box that I already had.
Done if I'd been like, no, I don't want to open it and increase the value of this. This is too good a thing. Like
It's in a box, so you're not going to decrease the value by opening the box.
Rowan's Creek Kentucky Bourbon Whiskey.
So it's made by Willet.
Okay.
All right.
So here's this.
And I did some research. I wanted to get back to doing research. I had kind of fallen behind for a while there during the holidays. And then I bought this one that we'll do with it. This is Pure Kentucky
Ooh.
XO.
Okay.
It's also from Willet. We haven't, I don't know if we've done anything Willet, have we? On any show?
We don't have one of those pot still bottles because they're a pain in the ass to keep around.
Yeah, yeah, we don't have those ones. I have another one I could have brought fits because I haven't opened it yet, and it's part of the Willet is Old Bardstown.
Hmm.
But we usually do three, and we finally got our hands on the Blantons this week. I had a drop by from a friend, Clark Bar. Uh,
Bar.
he's had some issues with his family and COVID, and he finally got up here and he brought it to me yesterday. So we're doing it today because that's why we wanted it. And Clark Bar is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, buddy.
Yep. So
Cool. So we're gonna save that for last.
yeah, absolutely, sure, sure.
And then do you have any preferences to which order you want these in?
No, I don't really know. They're no, not at all. It's your birthday episode. It doesn't really make a big difference. Like I said, it's Willet. It's not the cheapest Willet by any means, but it's not the most expensive. And I've heard a lot of good things about the XO and I'll give you this. I think it was Chad from It's Bourbon Night, but I do watch other podcasts.
Yeah.
Because I look up what other podcasts said about the stuff that we're gonna do, so I could try to get some ideas about like where it comes from and how old it is and what So we have some information for you guys too. And apparently it's Rowan's Creek because the creek is named after some guys later, like way back, but it still runs through the Willet Distillery. This
Okay.
creek does, and he said Kentuckians say Rowans. If you say Rowans, you're not a Kentucky. Like so,
Well,
we're
I'm
not
not a
Kentuckian.
Kentuckian,
Yeah, so
so I'm gonna say Rowan.
we're New Yorkin. All right, so we're gonna New Yorkin the crap right out of that. So, oh yeah, I'm still on that one.
That's
Okay,
fine. So this one is a little bit lesser proof, so I'm gonna go with this one first.
is not even glance really. What are the proofs?
This is 100.1.
Okay. Oh, nice. So it's
This
100. Okay.
Yeah, this one is 107, I
I
believe.
just couldn't
I just saw.
remember.
Yeah, this is 107 proof.
Right.
And the Blanton's at
Yeah, it's single barrel.
Pure Adventure.
I did learn.
93 proof.
Right. Yeah. I did learn that Blanton's was is or was the first ever single barrel offer. That's where single barrel started. And as a matter of fact, the thing that gets interesting about that is the second one that ever was made was Kentucky Spirit, because Jimmy and Eddie Russell got together after about 10 years. Because the first Blanton's came out, I want to say around '84, and it was kind of all the other distilleries were like, wow, yeah, but then it hit. And then somewhere in the early 90s, Jimmy and Eddie Russell got together and were like, okay. And then they made Kentucky Spirit. Like, it's working for them. Let's give it a try. And we've had the Kentucky Spirit,
Hmm.
and we both liked it. It's very good. So,
So this is actually a pretty interesting thing that I learned about from someone who actually works as at a liquor store.
nice.
Um, is that a lot of the bourbon places, like places that make glass bottles, they make maybe like a penny per like a beer bottle because generic, easy to make, that kind of thing. Where they make a lot of their money is with all of the bourbon bottles now because the bourbon bottles have started to go from things like this with the
Wine
red
bottles.
bottles.
Yeah.
They've started flattening them out more. And I mean, just take examples like Knob Creek or, Jim Beam, that kind of thing, Devil's Cut, that kind of stuff, where they're more square and they're wider. So that gives them more shelf space per bottle.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So
And I
that's why they're
agree.
doing it.
Yeah.
But these bottles also cost a lot more to make because they're a little more intricate, a little more detailed. So when you find something like a wine bottle version, they're not putting their money into the bottling, they're putting their money into the product.
Right.
So
That makes sense.
it could be a startup or it could be something that, is good on its own and doesn't need the bottle or the space. It could be a newer company.
Makes total sense.
But
Makes total sense.
this you said is a Willet product.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
after reading what it says, this is a small batch.
Mhm.
They make them by hand in small lots, one batch at a time. So,
They only started distilling in 2012. They were
okay.
blending and sourcing for many, many years, although it goes way back after
Yeah.
Prohibition and all that and stuff. But when they came back for many, many years, decades, they were not making anything in their own. They would just buy the barrels and bring them over to their warehouse. So it's been since 2012.
And this is from the 14th batch of 2021.
There you go.
So,
And that's okay. So there's a let me say it the right way. This is part of the Willet Distillery small batch boutique bourbon collection, which includes that, the XO and Old Bardstown and Noah's Mill.
okay.
And Noah's Mill is sort of the top line of this, I guess. It was about like this bottle was $40 where we live,
Hmm.
39.99, and I think 49.99 was the Noah's Mill. And I almost pulled that trigger, then I ended up getting to Kentucky for the episode, and I didn't have
Right.
that cash on me, so we'll try Noah's Mill some other time. If we like this, if we
Right.
hate what both of these, chances are you're not going to see
You're
a
not
lot
gonna
of
see
Willet,
it.
at least not too soon, because we'll probably have to get that taste out of our mouth,
It's true.
theoretically, hypothetically, and realistically. So, yeah, well, I told you way back when we did some of your favorite episodes when it was actually scotches, that I had heard that a lot of the, what do you need?
Just something else.
Oh my God, his work.
Yeah, that's fine.
Um, that, oh, geez, now, of course, I forget. Johnny Walker does those square bottles
Yep.
on purpose because they can get a lot more in cases
Yep.
because, you know what I mean? And like you said, shelf space.
Mm.
So there's a lot of things that are, yeah,
Playing into like design and stuff.
yeah, absolutely. Sometimes there's a lot of things out there that are sourced and are blended and this, that, and the other. And a lot of them kind of go on those bottles. And some of them we probably should have done that prior,
Yep.
but it's okay.
Well, that's fine.
Because you're learning something too. Don't expect all these things to just pop open. A lot of them are sealed with
Yeah.
wax, and most of them are corks. And,
Usually we open these things off camera so that you guys don't have to deal with it watching me struggle. Like,
you can hear the pop. Sometimes it's fun to hear the cork pop, I guess. I don't
Danny
know.
Pop.
So I also got some New Orleans glasses for Christmas.
So this is a very cool thing. You want to go into them and
Well, I don't really know too much more than when we were talking. You kind of know too. It's just that they're specially made glasses.
Mhm.
I know that one of the names on this canister right here is Jim McEwing, and if you've seen it's the Scotch documentary, but it's a documentary. You don't have to taste it.
Thank you.
If you lick the screen, then I told you to not do that anymore. Um,
Tell me about my life.
right, fair enough. Um, he's awesome. Like he's like the Scotch kingpin guy kind of guy, but he's just very lowbrow, kind of recreated Brooklady Distillery on his own with the help of the people that were still working there. And he's like sought after all over the world. They've like, if you watch the documentary, I can't do it justice, but one of their first lines in the whole show when it starts is people fly thousands of miles to get 10 minutes of his time. Like he's just that kind of guy. And if you watch it, he seems like the kind of guy you'd want to hang out with. He's always just wearing like a flannel or something. And he's just, yeah, he doesn't act like some kind of snobby dillhole. So anyway, they're supposed to aerate better because they've got fins inside here. I think there's four, if I'm not mistaken. We were just discussing the fact that I asked my wife for these for Christmas. She bought them for me. Thank you very much, sweetheart. I asked for the black ones on purpose because I just kind of like the look of them, the cool, whatever. And he immediately said it, and I was about to say it too. But as soon as I said the one thing about the black, and he kicked it in, like he finished my sentence for me, is that
Because we're love.
there you go. Shh. That was part of the secret. You pop a
Oh,
balloon
my
right
bad.
here. Like I'm not gonna pop a balloon
That
because I don't know
that would
who's
be
here and that was yeah. Anyway,
old.
Oh, it's true. I can have a heart attack right now if you pop a balloon. I'm not gonna
Way. So the
lie.
whole idea behind these glasses, the thing that we thought first was that you can't see the color or anything because it's black and you can't see that.
Right.
But you can, the glass is still going to do what it's going to do to the bourbon. And the nice thing about these is you don't need any rocks or anything with them. It's supposed to aerate it in like a way when you like swish it, and that should open it up pretty well. Um, but these are supposed to make your bourbons, your scotches taste the best out of any glass type that you can get, because they're aerating it as you're drinking it, and they're the excuse me, it's like a two-fold design because the outside of the thing you can touch it, but there's how you have like thermoses and stuff. There's like a airspace gap, and then there's the inside, so your heat from your hand isn't actually going to hit the bourbon.
Or the glass directly because it's a
Right.
Glencairn inside the
Yes.
outside. Yeah, you'd have a better visual of that if I'd have gotten the clear
Like
ones.
I
You
can
know,
do this so you can kind of see inside it. Um, but yeah.
I have many dirty jokes for what's happening right now. I'd like you to know I always
Oh,
have those jokes, but sometimes I hold them back.
because he's a good boy.
Not true. We haven't started drinking yet. Give it a couple drinks and
Excellent.
the good boy will be
So
gone.
first and foremost, thank you very much for the birthday
Of
present.
course, man.
This
Absolutely.
is, I think, where we're going to start.
Sure,
And
let's do that.
so we're going to try them out in these glasses because we want to give everything the benefit of the doubt and give it the best possible, starting point.
Sure.
So now that we have these, we might as well use them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I got them.
Okay.
You know, that anything aside from anything that's in the bourbon, anything that's in the bourbon whiskey world that is not readily available and relatively cheap on all our shelves all the time where we live, in my opinion, for me, is usually always going to come onto the show if I can make it there.
Hmm.
The Blantons was always coming on the show. And it's not gonna like we're gonna have a couple drinks of it today. I'm gonna have a drink with my brother-in-law later, and you guys can all don't tell him that you're not gonna see this for a long time. So you'll know long before you see it. Because he's got a bottle and he's been saving for many years, 4 years actually. And I guess I don't know. It's a 2016 bottle thing, but yeah, dude, I'm so bad at pouring.
Oh, good.
I just get a drip. I got a drip.
There's that.
Like there's an infection of some sort. And that one cleared up I told you about.
That's good.
So yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
So this is what we're going for now.
Yeah,
Put that right
Rowan's
in the
Creek,
front.
I guess. I don't know.
Rounds. The smell is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I got like enjoy the smell. The
There's
nose is nice.
not a whole hell of a lot of burn, but there is. I'm
You can
getting
smell alcohol,
I'm
but
getting grains,
and
but I'm
we're
also
at
getting a little bit
100
of
proof.
sweet. Yeah, you're at 100.1 proof. It's a little bit of sweet on the nose, but there's also some. You can smell like an outsidey air, kind of like fields of wheat or something kind of
Yeah.
feel.
I haven't, you know what? I was doing the nose. Now I'm going to do the like twirling thing. I hadn't
Yeah,
done that yet, and that's kind of the point of the glass, I guess, to a degree. Well, that did kind of open up a little bit. Just
yeah,
doing that a little bit. I
good.
did get a different nose.
Yeah.
I think my nose is growing, and it's not because I'm lying to you.
Well, they do until you die.
Oh,
It's like your earlobes and your nose keep getting bigger and bigger as you get older. That's why you see all those old guys with the big schnozzes in like retirement homes. Fun facts.
you know, if I'm not gonna. Anyway, if God could have made something that just kept getting bigger,
And that's all we need about
that's right. Hey,
that. All right.
let's give it a taste, Rooney.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hmm. Okay. So it definitely matched the nose with the outside air kind of like grains.
There's a burn. There's some burn, but
There's
it's
like a
not.
wheat or something.
It's so I wrote this down with a question mark because when I was doing research, there's something that said these are high rise,
Could be. That could be very
and
tasting.
yeah, which means it's going to be a little spicier, you know.
Yeah, I'm getting
And
spice.
but that didn't turn me off from the idea of doing this for him because he likes the bullet a lot, and that's a high rise. And I like the
Um,
bullet barrel strength, which
I don't
is
know that it's. I don't know. I don't know because it can definitely taste like you can almost like straw. Like
straw.
yeah,
I mean, I've never heard that before. That's kind of cool because I've never heard that before. Straw. Like,
I wouldn't go out and eat straws. I'm not a cow.
no. Just put one in your teeth so you look like a farmer, like when you're outside.
I just saw an episode of Futurama where they're on the moon and the one guy's got three robot daughters and Bender's like going after like the Crushinator. The dude looked just like a farmer. He had the little piece of straw right out the side
I'm
because
saying,
that is iconic.
oh God, and you've got me into yeah. I've started watching more Rick and Morty than
Good
I had
stuff.
before,
Good stuff.
and yeah, I'm trying to learn some things.
I mean, I feel like that's right up your alley. He's a super
Oh, it
genius
is.
who loves to drink, so
Yeah,
I
it's
can't argue with
hilarious. No, I like it a lot.
that.
It's awesome. Um, I mean, again, a $40 bottle. Um, I don't dislike it, and it's spicier than my palate usually likes.
It's definitely something that I'm not used to drinking.
Right.
And I think the last thing that I had to drink was the Nulu toasted.
Lasting period since, or the last
Well,
thing
I
that you.
had some last night with
Okay, all right, that's
because
good.
I
Yeah,
liked it and I
I
wanted to
was
drink more of
right,
it.
right. Oh yeah, no, yeah. The Nulu's good stuff. It's very good. I'm a
And
fan for sure.
so coming down from that last night because it was
It's
New Year's.
Yep.
This is definitely not that, which is okay. It doesn't have to be that. It's doing its own thing. But it is spicier.
It's got yeah, it's but yeah because okay, so it's holding on,
Hmm.
but like when something holds on for me, there's more often than not that is a negative because it's like holding on in a burn sort of way that I'm like, okay, that doesn't need to be there in
Hmm.
my head. This one is kind of holding on, but I'm not upset about it. It's got kind of like a pleasant feel. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Am I, you know what I mean? It's smooth enough or it's something enough that like even though I can still kind of taste it and it's holding, I'm not like, I'm like, is that, did you get that? You got that all right? You understand how scientific we
I'm
are?
picking up what you're
Me
putting down, but
specifically? It's
it's burning for
comparable.
me, and it's I don't know. I'm not enjoying the burn as much as you, I guess.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I figured we haven't really, I don't think we've done anything Willet. We've discussed it. I don't think we've done a Willet product on the show. It's a big distillery,
Yeah,
you know.
no, that's fair.
Apparently it has a very good, it's one of people's
So
favorites destination on the trail. They have a great
it is a is it
show.
still copper distilled, like a copper
Um,
pot still?
I feel like
Because they have a
Willet has
picture.
all three of them. I feel like I read that Willet has a copper pot still, a double pot still, and then a straight, oh, there's another one. What's it called? It's like a straight, it's not pump, but it's something else. Um, but I feel like Willet has all three different versions of those. I just don't know which ones are used. Yeah, that's the copper pot still.
So why would they have a picture of it if they don't use it?
They probably did on this one. Yeah.
So I was actually kind of picking up pennies.
Really?
Yeah.
I see. I don't know the taste of pennies that well,
If you
so
ever, bored and you got some pocket change, just stick a penny in
I,
your mouth. Okay?
I, oh,
Put a penny in your mouth.
yeah, that's probably not your best move in
First
the
of
way.
all, pennies today are made mostly out of like nickel, so it's not actually copper, so it won't taste anything like that. Um, if you find a penny that's like pre 1950, then it's made of copper.
You usually look at the sides of it, right? And you can kind
Yeah,
of tell by
well,
the.
with the dimes and things like that,
Okay.
yeah, and the quarters, but not with the pennies. The pennies just they're all the way around. But yeah, so if you find a pre 1950 penny, then that might be fully copper.
Send that to us as a gift.
Put that in your mouth.
Yeah.
Don't put that in your mouth.
Oh, put that in your mouth. Do as you're told. I'm gonna water my glass a little.
Sounds like a plan.
Maybe it'll grow if I water it, you think? Little
Like,
fertilizer?
yeah,
Yeah. I'm not really sure.
I wouldn't drink fertilizer, but
No? You sure you had copper in your mouth a minute ago? I'm not really sure
yeah.
what you put in your mouth, aside from the things you told me.
But no, that's an interesting pick. That's good. It's okay. It's middle of the road, but it's
I don't think it would fare well in a 100 flight fight with,
no.
well, not with wild turkey. I think we'd
Wild turkey would
probably,
decimate it. We can
well,
do it right now. I got some 101 right there.
it's, and as much as I love your enabling,
Right.
I eventually have to drive home. So,
Yeah,
maybe
someday
tomorrow, but
I
still.
think we're gonna show you guys a video of like what's behind the camera because there's just a boatload of bourbons back there.
And we got a lot of little shorts on our channel too, where we filled our bottle, where we do little special things,
Hmm.
championship rounds, shout outs to the IBN picks they let us have,
Yeah,
things of that nature. So we could definitely like
do a little.
put some music in there, some like 70s porn
I
You
if
know,
it's not
and
if it's free.
if it's free, well,
I mean, you could just sit on the back of the camera and just be like,
I could move the camera around and you could saxophone it real well and just that's what he's gonna do. Yeah.
just like you could.
He was never able to do that till he had a New Orleans glass.
Nice.
Did you
It's
pick
true.
that up?
So having had it in the New Orleans glass, the smell definitely came out
Yeah,
before we
yeah.
drank it.
And the smell changed
It
because
did
I
it
did
when you
not
did the thing,
swish,
yeah.
and then I swished, and I definitely got more from it.
Hmm.
That's something. You know what, too? The lip is a little thicker. Did
Yeah.
you notice that? I
Hmm.
heard that on an episode of something, and I didn't really realize it, and didn't really reconnect to my brain until I sipped out of this can, because this glass. But I'm stumbling a little bit, but I got you. You're good. You just don't judge me. Anyway, I can if you want. It's all right. I'm kind of a tool. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but yeah, so Kentucky XO, I've heard good things. I don't know if it's right or wrong, and I don't know if it'll mesh up with our palates, but I've heard good things. So
So it's 107 proof.
yeah.
And it's now we're gonna do the swishes.
Mm-hmm. Distilled
Give it a
and
little.
aged. Distilled aged. There. Okay. I remember too. There's a lot of things online that said this is 12 years old. A lot of things online, but then there are also one or two that say they said 12 years old on the bottle a couple of years ago, and now they don't.
Mm,
So
could be 9.
yeah, or it could be a blend of a 9, a 12. I mean, I don't really. It says small batch,
Hmm.
so right.
Looks like it's the 19th batch of 2021.
Yeah, symbol, but yeah, small batch bourbon. So yeah,
So that was a small batch. This is a small batch. Um,
I love the stories. I just
yeah,
love this. I
it's
get
good
going on them,
stories.
and I'm like, that's so interesting. Let's find out more. And
So
I love the bourbons too, but I don't.
this is smelling. There's not a lot of odor on the nose, but it's very similar to the one we
Ooh,
just had.
no, I haven't swished, but I got a real strong smell of like caramel vanilla of
Did
some
you?
sort without swishing at all, like immediately compared to the other one.
Interesting.
And that's a higher proof.
This is 107. And as we've told you, we have started getting into the higher proofs and liking them more,
Mm.
just because as our palates have evolved, we find that they're more flavorful the higher the proof, which is
Some
kind
of
of
those
almost
lower ones are.
counterintuitive.
It seems like there should be more flavor, and we'd like them more the
Right,
lower because there's
because
less burn.
there's less alcohol percentage wise,
Right,
so you would
right.
think that that would be able to add more in with
Nice.
not just the water, but the flavorings, like the different.
Right,
I guess I think what happens is that they water them down to a specific percentage, so you lose some of those flavors when they do that, when it
right,
comes out of
right.
the barrel.
That makes sense
Whereas if
too.
you're getting a barrel proof, that is it in its final form coming straight from the barrel. So
Right.
you're getting,
Or
aside from like
cask strength or whatever phrase they
some type
use.
of filtering to get like, the impurities out and like little bits of wood from the
Mm.
charred barrel,
Right.
and to make it clear. Other than that, it's just straight out of the barrel. So that's probably why you're getting more flavor in those higher proofs with the barrel proof stuff.
And there are still some laws. It has to be down to some proof before you bottle it. Like it can't be to say bourbon, it can't be over something too. I can't remember
Mm.
what it is. It's 130, 140, 1 something.
I was gonna say it's got to be
There's a number there though
in
you
that
can't go
130
over,
range
and
because I
there's a number you
see a
can't
lot.
go under. Like it can't be under 80. If it's
Yeah.
under 80, it can't be called bourbon. But yeah, there is a law though. It can't be because then you get into those vodka ranges where
Yep.
it's
Yep.
way too high
It's
and
just
no flavor.
99% alcohol.
I immediately like the nose better than I liked the nose on the Rowan's Creek.
I
Perfect nose.
couldn't see into the glass and I just splayed myself. So
Did what to yourself?
this is a problem with black glasses. I went to sniff it and I almost got it up the nose because I couldn't see in the glass. It's tasty.
No, I'm gonna taste now. I'm gonna taste now. Hmm.
It's better.
It is better. I agree. I like that one a little bit more.
Hmm.
I didn't dislike the Rowan's Creek would just be what I would refer to as maybe a baseline sort of offering of 100.
Okay.
Um,
Now, on the back end, I'm getting more grains than I was on the Rowans.
hmm,
Um,
I got immediately, and I still am getting more the caramel vanilla on this one than that one.
See, I'm not getting any caramel around, I'm just getting like the grain, which is weird.
Huh.
Maybe it's because of the Nulu and that how caramelized that was, that it's kind of jaded my palate a little bit. Um, this isn't bad by any means.
Right, no.
It's
And yeah, I mean, I've heard or read, heard, seen, whatever, a lot of mixed things about Willet. Like
yeah,
it's a big one and it's well known.
it's definitely rye.
Yeah, I did hear, sprinklings of high rise and stuff in Willet. I don't know if they have an offering that's more wheat
Yeah.
or more barley or something else. It's not, but
No, there's definitely rye in their mash.
and they refer
Um,
to Rollins Creek as the baby brother to Noah's Mill. Noah's Mill is kind of their, I don't want to say it's their, they probably have something that comes out their special releases and stuff
sure.
and all that, but their highest, maybe regular, all the time, readily available. Doing a really good job with my words today.
They're very good words.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't want to put a penny in my mouth, so I'm good. All right.
Understood. Understood.
Penny in your mouth thing.
Yeah. So
I mean, for $30.
yeah, and
They're
if
both,
you
it
like,
was 40 and 30. So that one was cheaper by maybe $10, roughly.
interesting. If you like rye stuff, then you'll probably enjoy both of these offerings.
There's clearly a darker color too, though. Is
Well,
it
I
sort of
think that's because this is a
107?
shorter, stouter,
Oh yeah.
and
So
so
it
there's
doesn't
more
like
bourbon.
stretch out the.
Right. There's
Oh.
more bourbon thickness. Like this is a lot thicker than that.
But see, like when I said to you when we were talking earlier off camera about these, and I said, well, about 99% of your bottles you can see through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, as far as not seeing the color in the glass, I mean, unless you're drinking New Riff or there's that Puncher's Chance one that I had once that's a completely black bottle, Smoke Wagon, that, yeah. But you weren't a fan of that either.
Not really. The Vegas ones, I'm scared to try those Lucky Sevens because Smoke Wagon put such a bad taste in my mouth, literally. Like I'm not a big fan of the Smoke Wagon, and that's a Vegas offering. And these
Hmm.
Vegas things, I feel like they're kind of, I don't know,
Well, you think
kitschy,
what
niche.
higher temperatures out there, more year round, more
I don't know.
right? I mean,
It's a thing that they're
I
doing.
still remember Matthew Perry in that movie with he made that. It's still funny. Fools Rush In with Selma Hayek, where he's like, "Why didn't they just build this city on the effing sun?" You know what I mean? And I know it gets hot as balls in Vegas a lot of the year. I don't know that that necessarily means that's where their barrels come from. I didn't do the research to find out what Smoke Wagon does and when they don't. I wanted to try the Redwood Empire, which is a California one,
hmm
and I wanted to try it because it's another one that plants a tree for every bottle sold or every case sold or something.
Now,
And
California has different zones, like as far as temperatures and like
right, so we could, yeah,
biomes and
yeah,
things. So
totally,
like there's
totally.
Northern California stuff where they have all the grapes.
But there's no good the reason I'm apprehensive about it isn't, I mean, like a baseline offering of Redwood Empire is 30 something bucks. It's
Yep.
nothing that we can't buy and try and see what we think. But when have we ever heard anything good about a California bourbon or whiskey at all ever?
Never.
Right.
I
So
mean,
it's,
you're lucky. Like
do you
the
pull the trigger on
Woodinville,
that or something you've heard of?
Woodinville's a Washington State thing, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
and that's further north than all of California by several hundred
If
miles.
you don't know that, you're probably our core audience. So that's cool.
But we like the Woodinville, so it may be that it's the, West Coast water that they're using. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's and then there's yeah, because yeah, there's different. I know that
It depends on who they're using, where their rick houses are located, and how temperature controlled they are.
I
Like there's a lot of things that go into it.
there's a Canadian whiskey that he doesn't want to try with me because it's not American bourbon.
Gross.
Well, I've even tried it, so I don't know. It's called Pendleton, and they have a Pendleton Midnight, they have a Pendleton Regular, and they have a Pendleton that's called I've Got Your Six, and they made that bottle because they donate proceeds of that bottle to veterans charities
That's
and stuff like that. And I've seen they're very there. We have a couple of them very locally, regionally priced, or regularly priced locally. But I read those things, and then when I was reading about that company, and there's a reason I'm tying this all in, that they get their water from, and it was some massive lake, stream, river, or something from Oregon that
hmm
flows into Canada.
ah,
So it's
it-
considered a Canadian whiskey. It's bottled, it's distilled,
but
whatever,
they
in
stole
Canada.
our water.
Yeah, freaking Canadians. So I just any of those charity things, I kind of jump out of my head, and I'm like, oh, that's we should try that just because of that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's we haven't tried Noble Oak on here. I've had it. It's to me it was very run of the mill,
Well,
but
what's the one with the Trade Center? metal on them.
Oh, I have that one bottle. Horse Soldier.
Okay, yeah,
Horse Soldier.
we'll have to get all three of those at some point
Mhm.
and try them out.
We were planning on doing that on one of the holiday times when it's like Veterans Day, July 4th, something like that. Because there's a few of those out there too that do more for the military, and that one has, and it was created by the guys in the military, so that went right into Afghanistan after 9/11. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and let you on your birthday
I'm gonna let
episode
you do it
pair
because
the.
you're the one that bought it, man.
I don't know. You do it. I'd prefer if you do it.
Okay, so
I
this
can
is
blame you if it goes wrong. So I don't know how it
single
could possibly go
single barrel. Look at that. It's like they knew what they were doing.
wrong.
All the way off in one spot.
That's kind of cool. If I was the kind of person that would put this in my nose and look like some sort of,
Witch doctor.
yeah, in
That's
Zimbabwe or
real
something.
pork. That's nice. That's good.
Nice.
Smells delightful. Oh,
There's
that
a
does smell good. That does smell good.
I mean, this isn't going to be an episode where we pick a
Before, sir.
winner and
Before.
it's like
Yeah, there's no way that this is.
I'd be unbelievably shocked if we hated it. But let's be clear, we've also said on many episodes that single barrels there can be one
There's a
that
hit and
here
miss
or
type of
that,
thing. So, smell the cork. Let's try it again. Smelling the cork. It smelled very sweet to me.
Oh, let's give it a smell. Well, it's only 93 proof. We're going down in
So we're going
proof.
down in proof,
What's it?
but
It's barrel strength. It's single barrel,
single barrel.
93 proof.
Yeah.
Does that mean the barrel's not aged as long?
No, I feel like they just diluted it more to get more bottles.
So it's a single barrel, but it doesn't say barrel proof, so therefore
They can
I
dilute it.
got you.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, there's a lot of little tricky
Yeah.
nuances to this that you gotta really like get. You can, and that's another part of this. Just like I always say, like the stories, it's like you can just keep going. There's
So, I
no
mean, the
stopping
cool
it.
thing that they do with these is they tell you like when the
Oh my
barrel was
God, it tastes like a dessert. It smells like a dessert.
the barrel was dumped on 11/2/2020.
I love the fact that they use the word dumped.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's so like
it's from barrel number 374 on Rick number 11.
right.
And then it was handcrafted and filled bottled by hand to be 93 proof.
Did I say the thing about single barrel, the first ever single barrel on this show, or did I say it before we were
I don't
taping?
remember.
Well, you'll edit it if I say it
Yeah.
twice,
Oh
right?
yeah.
It's the Blanton's is the first ever single barrel. The actual story goes like this: Elmer T. Lee was the president of Buffalo Trace, I guess, at that time, nearing retirement in 1984. And he remembered working with Colonel Albert B. Blanton. And then who was the distillery president up until 1952. And he was there, and Elmer T. Lee has long since passed, and so on and so forth. And that's where he came up with this idea. And about 8 or 9 years later, Jimmy Russell and Eddie Russell got together and realized it was selling, it was working, nobody else was doing it except them, and they wanted to keep it up. And that's where Kentucky Spirit came from. That's the second ever single barrel offering ever produced of bourbon. Um, we should probably at some point just do one of those, like so it's like a second championship round or whatever we want to
Sure.
call them, and do the Blantons versus the Kentucky Spirit just for fun because we like the Kentucky Spirit, and I still have it, and it's only been opened a few months, and it's like this much gone. It's almost still full.
If I can never get an Elmer tea,
Oh, it'd be nice.
that'd be
That'd be nice.
nice.
But you know what you said earlier about the bottles and stuff? If you think about all the BTAC collections, every time you just see pictures of the BTAC, they're all wine bottles.
Yeah.
There's no fancy bottles there.
The pappies and such are always
Yeah.
yep. Mhm.
Tall, skinny bottles. Like aside from this one, that's it's shaped like a grenade. On purpose. I did not look that up to find out where that came from necessarily, but he's Colonel Blanton, so
Oh, for
grenade.
sure.
You know, my buddy Clark Barr told me for some reason that this bag, because that Blanton, the S has an apostrophe before it, it might be means
Valuable
something,
or
or
something.
yeah, I don't. I mean, it's a bag,
But
so I don't. I'm not gonna throw it away.
you guys want to buy a bag?
If you want to know the weight of the bag and what's inside of it, it's legal. We're in New York.
Yeah,
It's legal. I'm not even breaking law, so
there you go. There
you
it is.
can.
This has a very sweet nose.
I'm so stopping myself so
I'm proud of
much.
you.
Yeah,
So
thank
proud.
you, thank you, thank you.
Uh,
Just for your birthday.
thank you. I got the badge to prove it. Right
He's
there.
gonna be 21 next week.
Yep.
That's funny because we've been doing a bourbon show for.
Serious. I don't know a 21-year-old that can grow
What,
this
have you
much.
tasted this yet?
No, but I
Okay,
smelled
hold
it.
on. Let's do this to Betty White.
It's Betty White.
Here, cheers.
She hit 99
You
because
did,
is too much.
and yeah, man, she was good stuff. She was funny right till the end.
Absolutely.
The Proposal's still a funny, hilarious Ryan Reynolds movie, and she is a massive part of that. So
Yeah, that's Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, right?
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
Craig T. Nelson, and yeah,
Coach.
yeah, yeah.
That's how old I am.
It's
I
still, oh,
think
he's, I'm
Nelson
with
from
him.
Coach.
I watched Golden Girls last night to fall asleep after I heard it.
Yeah,
It didn't come up on the TV. We didn't find out Betty died until we were already into the pre-New Year's Eve kind of sitting there watching people perform music and stuff, and it popped up, and we were like,
yeah,
so sad. Anyway, Betty White, rest in peace. All the Golden Girls were waiting for you, so it's probably good. So,
yeah.
all right, let's give it a sipperoo.
Yeah. Mm. Oh yeah,
I'm very happy.
that's so good. That's so like you
Oh my
can't compare it to
God.
what we just drank because there's a sweetness in there that they didn't. Then the burn is not nearly as much. I mean, my mouth is warm.
Warm, yes, yes. My mouth is warm. That's excellent.
The mouth feel though, I mean, it's not like super like greasy or anything. It's
Yeah,
not like coating your mouth, but it still keeps your mouth warm. Like your mouth feels like your mouth. It doesn't feel like there's grease or like anything that's held on. But
that's yummy.
it definitely is super tasty. There's notes of cherry. There's notes of like they did it right.
I'm gonna hit it again.
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah, got to.
I don't know. It's I'm not gonna make a joke.
And
No.
so the cool thing that I don't know if all of you know this or not, but each one
No,
of
I should
these
do
are
this.
a very unique cork. They spell out Blanton's, and so you have to find all of the letters with the each different letter of
Individual.
Blanton's.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's two S's,
Yeah.
and the one S has an apostrophe in front of it. We actually got a T on this one, which is cool. So we got the T of Blanton's.
Yeah.
So we can spell Blantum.
But you gotta be like we're doing a show about this. You gotta be real too, because you can go on Google right
Mhm.
now and buy
Yeah,
all the
you could.
toppers for like $30. Don't do that.
I don't think you could. They're pretty expensive.
I've seen them for 30
Have
bucks
you?
on
You should
eBay.
absolutely buy them
I don't.
because what
Do
you
you
have
think
to.
it would be an investment thing? Like
Oh,
people would
dude,
want them later on and
dude,
spend way more?
what you do with these is super cool. So if you collect the entire Blanton's with the apostrophe S one too, you send it to Blanton's. They get one of the staves they used for the as their barrels to age this in, and they put each one of these corks on it to spell out Blanton's, and then
Right.
they send it back to you free of charge because you've gotten all the corks that spell out Blanton's.
We should
So you have a
for
nice
reviews
stave
to do that.
that has a very nice showpiece. Absolutely, because each one of these bottles is like a pretty expensive investment, and you have to find a different letter each time. So for 30 bucks,
I mean,
that's I would pay 30 bucks for that. Absolutely. Because then you get a really cool showpiece.
it is cool, but like it's not. It wouldn't be authentic to our experience if it was behind us,
It
unless
wouldn't
we drank them all.
it wouldn't be. However, it's still a real cool thing that I would like to have one day.
Right.
And
I get that. And it could, like you just said, it could be an investment. You might be able
it's
to sell it 5 years from now for 10 times what you
it's not
paid.
even the
It's
fact
30
that
bucks.
if it's an investment, whatever, but
Right.
the fact that I'm going to continue to buy these when I can find them and
Oh,
drink them.
absolutely.
But it could take me years to do that. Whereas if I get the set piece now, I can sit there and enjoy that set piece while
It's
I'm
true.
doing other
It's
things.
true. See, there's lots of different ways to look at stuff,
Yeah.
just like there is to drink the bourbons and stuff. Like, there's ice and not ice, and there's everybody's got their own palates and everything else. And that's the whole idea. I think he's absolutely right. I think he's 100% right by how awesome it would look
Hmm.
and everything else. 100% right. 100%. I just, and this isn't, okay, for instance, I'll compare this to the Blade and Bow for a second with the five keys. Okay.
Yeah.
Blade and Bow is always on our shelves.
Hmm.
We don't see the five key hardly ever. Okay. I've never seen the
Right.
five
Yeah, I
key.
haven't either. I've looked.
But we can get the first four like that. Like we could
Hmm.
go do it today. We'd have all four just like that. And then we'd have to find the five key, and that's fine. This one we don't have regular access to. This came from Virginia.
Hmm.
My buddy came up here. He's from here. He came up here to see his family for the holidays, and he brought it for me. And I gave him a little extra tip, and then the rest of it. But see, I have to make an inappropriate joke occasionally. So
Sometimes
I
just
mean,
the tip.
it's a necessary investment in my life. So
Mm.
and that's why I liked Golden Girls growing up, which was I told you it was
Risque.
controversial
Yeah.
in '85 to '91 or two, however long it lasted, because of the things they said, and that's how I grew up, man. It was awesome. And Golden Girls were,
But
oh my God, they
this
were so
this
awesome.
is really a good bourbon. Like I don't know. So when I went to the Hartman's, the speakeasy in the back,
Yep, yep.
I tried the gold label.
Is that what is this considered? Is that what is that? I've seen
that's
pictures
just
too.
their
There's
single
black and
barrel.
greens,
Yeah,
and so
there's
this is
it's
just the tan run of
this
the
is yeah,
mill.
this is their single barrel base offering, but
And he paid about $60 for it, and I
yeah.
gave him a little more than that for
And
for
so
having it.
I tried the gold label Blantons, and I think it was like maybe $30 for for the shot that I got. But
It's
it didn't do anything for me. It wasn't special.
I think it's once a year, right? I think Blanton's is once a
Mhm.
year,
Yeah.
whereas things like Booker's from Beam is like 3 or 4 times a year, things of that. Right?
Yes, Booker's is definitely multiple times a year. It's like once every quarter.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, that's another thing that's hard to keep up with. You can just get in this
yeah.
world, man. There is, woo.
There are people who keep tabs on all these things and know when they're coming out and
Oh
want
yeah.
everything. Like there's collectibles for everyone. Like you can have bourbon collectibles, you can have like Pokemon collectibles, doesn't matter.
Hmm?
It's whatever you're happy doing and what you enjoy doing. That's like, and you dive into it. You can dive into it on so many levels, and that's why there's certain things that cost so much money. I mean, there's Kentucky Owls on a shelf that are worth $300.
Hmm. Yep. Yep.
That's on the shelf. Like that's their MSRP.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
10 years from now what that bottle's worth because that's the last of the Deadmans and stuff.
Yep. Yeah. The last of Dixon. Yep.
10 years from now, what is that bottle worth? You
Yep.
can't put a price on it because he hasn't been doing it for a decade. That's
He
the
made
last iteration of it.
11 batches, I think,
And
total.
that's the 11th batch right there
Yeah.
on the shelves right now.
I think, yeah. And then all
And
of a sudden you saw the Wiseman. He disappeared.
yep,
Wiseman
and
shows
Wiseman
up.
came up. And so, I mean, there's a lot of different nuances like who's the distiller, where did it come from, and what are they using, how are they doing it? Is it charcoal filtered, is it cold filtered? Well, there's all sorts of different things they can do for taste, and there's all sorts of things that are going to happen to make it a collectible, special thing. Like we have a Blue Note uncut that was open that we talked about
Yep.
because that rickhouse got destroyed, so you can't put anything in that rickhouse ever again, and you can't recreate the elements that barrel aged in because it was left to the elements for a
Elements.
while.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it a good one? Mm,
Yeah.
but it's a story, and that's what makes things worth their value is the story behind it.
And there is investment opportunity in
Absolutely.
bourbon. I still stand by my thought process at this point is still I don't like hoarders per se, people who want to buy everything they find. I
Sure.
always will grab one.
Yeah.
And then the uncut, there was two, and I told him, and he came and got the other one, or three or something at that
Yeah.
time. And now we see a few more. So, but I constantly in one store we go to, which is an awesome store. The guy's cool. It's
Yeah.
the
It's super
coolest
cool
place in the
too.
world. They have another expression of it now. It's called
Yes.
Crossroads,
Yep. I just
right?
saw it last night.
There's Blue Point Juke Joint uncut, and there's a couple bottles of that still, and then Blue Point Crossroads. But yeah, you'll never, like he just said, you'll never get another. Hopefully, hold on. Hopefully, you'll never get another Rickhouse collapse bottle because we're not rooting for Rickhouses to collapse.
Right. And Kentucky did just have a
But
massive storm, so
yeah, yeah. So anyway, what are we going doing time wise there? Birthday man.
we're at 45 minutes,
Oh,
so
good, nice. It didn't feel like, you know what I mean?
that's
It
good.
didn't. Yeah, it's awesome.
But yeah, no, this is definitely if you ever find Blanton's on your shelf, I know that it's more prevalent in like places like Ohio than it is in New York for whatever reason, and
Probably,
Pennsylvania
certainly in
too.
Kentucky,
Yeah,
I would imagine.
find it, open it, enjoy it with a friend. It's great.
Yeah,
You won't go wrong with it, and
that's yeah,
it's a
yeah.
nice talking point too
Yep.
for any shelf because of the excellent little history of the corks and how you can collect those. So
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I like it.
yeah,
It's tasty.
it's super good. So thanks for hanging out with us for the last 40 minutes if you have, and
All right.
if you have any questions, comments, or things you want us to try, throw it down in the comments. Like, subscribe, do all that kind of cool stuff.
Please like
And
and subscribe,
yeah,
guys.
I'm Neat,
I'm
and
Rocks,
this has been
the
the Bourbon
Bourbon Barrel.
Barrel.